Wow, this feels weird. This feels very, very weird indeed.
A massive thanks to MPB for sponsoring today's video.
So today I want to talk all about going out with your camera with minimalist gear, what is good about it, and also why you don't have to compromise on quality. So thanks for tuning in once again. Ladies and gents, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Henry, and look, I am the type of photographer that loves a big, massive, daft bag. I have got a huge bag and I chuck as much gear into that bag as humanly possible, and I deal with the weight consequences when I'm out and about, but not today. All right, so I'm just trying to grab a quick shot here, a bit of an opportunistic photograph of the fells that we're headed up to. There's loads of drama up there, loads of low cloud, and maybe this is a shot I would have missed if I had my big massive parachute on my back and not this lovely little hip pack. I honestly got the camera out of here within about 10 seconds and that cloud has started to move already. I'm shooting at f6.3, 1/100th of a second. ISO is on auto, that can do whatever the hell it wants. I think it's on ISO 100 anyway. 16:9 crop, and it's just a case of zooming in at about 80 or 90 millimeters to try and capture all of that drama up there. Oh, has the hip pack come into its own already? So yeah, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by that beautiful scene, and we had to go straight into the hip pack to get the Nikon Z30 out. I overpack my big bag, so this is quite a big deal for me, and I've got some future adventures planned that are actually going to force me into using more minimalist photography gear. Less gear for my photography and less gear for my videography as well. So this evening's hike up Bow Fell here in the Lake District, it is a Wainwright, is going to give me the perfect opportunity to see how I get on with such a small amount of gear. Right, I think this beautiful little spot here is a good place for me to talk you through exactly what I've got with me. Every single thing, and we will take a photograph of this waterfall in a second. So first things first, the bag itself. This is from a brand called Apidura, and it's a 100% waterproof. It's 3 litres, I think. I didn't want to get anything too big because for me, with my research, it was getting to the point where I might as well have had a backpack, and it was defeating the whole purpose of having a minimal amount of gear. So this felt like the perfect size. You've already seen I've got my Nikon Z30 and I've got with me my 24-200 lens, and this is where I didn't really want to compromise on quality. And like I said at the start, I feel like you don't need to compromise on quality. Only thing is with this lens, 24-200, I feel like it's not very well suited for my Nikon Z30 to a crop sensor camera. I feel like the Nikon Z18-140 would be better suited. It'd just give me a little bit more on the wide end, but that's fine. We've got a spare microphone, because you've got to think I've got my videography gear as well. That's just my lens cap. I've got in here my head torch, a couple of spare batteries because I'm funny about that. I don't want to be coming down in the dark. That is a light for my GoPro, which is filming me now, and then I've got my polarizing filter wrapped up in a microfiber cloth. Then on the back of the bag, there's a couple of small pouches. In here, I've just got 2 or 3 spare batteries for the GoPro and for the Z30. And then in here, I've got a little Cliff Bar, which I think I'll have now actually. That was nice. So the only other thing that you've probably seen that I've got with me is my tripod. Now, arguably, you shouldn't be bringing a tripod out if you're only wanting to come out with minimalist gear or whatever, but for me, I just didn't really want to compromise, and as well, filming these videos and stuff sort of felt like I needed it. I think a good middle ground for me at least would be one of those like Joby, you know, the big flexible sort of ones. Something like that would be quite cool, but I still like to use a tripod, and this is a good example of why I don't really like being without it, even for my stills photography. I'm getting an image here of the waterfall and this rock. That's pretty much the composition at 1/4 of a second. Definitely don't feel comfortable shooting that handheld on the Nikon Z30. I'm at f/14 and ISO 100, but I think this is going to be pretty nice. And then we'll move on. I need to make a little bit of headway if I want to make it anywhere decent for the sunset. And then I want to talk about a few reasons why I think going out with minimal gear, minimal amounts of gear, can actually be really, really good. Oh, so this last little bit has been a bit of a slog, but we are not too far from the top now, and as you can see, the views are getting lovely. The light is nice. The light is also nice in the direction that we're headed. So about an hour till the sunset. Fingers crossed we can make it up somewhere decent in time, if not to the summit. Now, as we move on, I want to say another big thank you to MPB for sponsoring today's video. So MPB is a brilliant online platform that you can go on to buy or sell used photography or videography equipment. I've used them myself for years, genuinely now, just because I always found them to be so cheap. They've got really competitive prices, and on top of that, they actually take a photograph of the exact piece of equipment that you're purchasing from them, not just a stock image, you know. So again, a lot of peace of mind. So all of that is brilliant, but where MPB are even better is in selling to them. It is seamless. You go onto the website, you type in the gear that you're looking to sell to them, you tell them what it is, whether it's cameras or lenses, and then they will send you a quote straight away. They'll tell you how much they will pay you for your gear. And it gets better. They will send a courier to your house free of charge. All you've got to do is box it up. It is so easy. I bought my Nikon Z30 from MPB recently, actually, and I sold an older video camera, and it was so good, it was so easy, and the money was in my bank within 2 to 3 days. So definitely go and check them out. I'll leave a link in the video description below. If you've got some gear lying around, you may as well sell it to them. Like, spend money on newer gear or trips out and about with your camera. Oh, so the wind's picked up a little bit, and coming back to shooting with minimalist gear and what's good about it, I think the most obvious thing, like, is just you've got like enhanced mobility and less fatigue. Like, I'm out here and I feel $1 million not having the frigging parachute on my back, but no, yeah, I'm just way more nimble, and I think it's weird because that's not got anything to do with gear or photography, has it? But if your energy levels are higher because you haven't got a load of daft weight on your back, that can only be a good thing. Like, I'm up here now, I'm buzzing. Look at the light down here, by the way. We'll grab a shot in a sec. But yeah, just, I've got a lot more go about me, even though I've just done a pretty strenuous hike. Right, I'm gonna try and make the most of this nice light here if I can. I'm raging, man. I missed the light, I missed it. I was too busy nattering about fanny packs. Oh, you seen it, didn't you? It was unreal back there. Oh, gosh, man, I haven't done that in ages. I haven't done it in ages. What I'm going to do is wait around, because if you look behind me there, that's Bowfell. I'm not going up there. I don't like getting close to the Wainwrights and not getting to the summit, but I mean, what is the point in going up there when I've got this beautiful view here? We're still about 40 minutes till the sunset. So what I'm going to do is hold on hope, see if that light comes back from over there. I really hope that it does, because I've just had a nightmare missing that light. That was epic. So excuse the wind, but if you just look there, I think I'm feeling hopeful that we're going to get a little bit of a gap. Maybe I'm just being overly optimistic, I don't know. Whilst we wait on that, I'm not going to miss it again if it comes out. I wanted to talk about something else with regards to the fanny pack minimalist photography gear. Like, it's a simple one, but if you're not buying much gear, it is so much cheaper. If you don't have a big, massive bag, you're not going to want to fill it. And I suppose it comes down to necessity, doesn't it? At the end of the day, I've had photo shoots where I've just been out with my phone, and I guess I always kind of want more, but it is enough. My setup today, it is enough. So you can save a hell of a lot of money, and you can spend more money on traveling, which actually is another point. It just makes traveling so much easier. Sorry, I'm just trying to get out of the wind. It just makes traveling so much easier because everything's so small and packable. And you know, imagine going on flights and stuff like that, which is something I don't do enough of, but this sort of setup, or even just a small backpack, it doesn't necessarily have to be a hip pack like this, but it would just make things so much easier, wouldn't it? So there are definite positives, a lot of big positives to a minimalist setup and a small amount of photography gear. Come on, man, come on. Fingers crossed. Oh man, that is a thick load of cloud up there, and it's just not letting up. It's not letting any light through. It's proper annoying, man, because you know what, kind of behind the scenes, if you will, of my YouTube videos and stuff like that, I've sworn to myself that I won't miss the opportunity of a nice photograph because I'm yapping to the camera, and it's just happened again. It is so annoying. In fairness, like I said, that has not happened in a long time, and I mean, it's probably just an excuse, but I think it's probably good that it does happen every once in a while, because it gives me a little bit of a kick up the botty to remind me that the photography is what comes first. What I'm going to do anyway is take the photograph that I would have taken so I can see what I missed out on, but we have got some nice light right off in the distance at the very least. I see, you know what, this is actually proper nice even without the light. I'll say it again, it would have been better if I'd have caught it with the light, but no, this is cool. I'm just going to shoot it as a handheld pano and knock my ISO up a little bit. Even though I've got the tripod that you're on now, use a hogging it. I don't know, I'd maybe like to get myself into the mindset of not bringing a tripod at all, getting something that'll do me for my video work, and just knocking my ISO up, you know, and getting on with it and just being proper minimalist. I just feel like I'm cheating on the minimalist gear thing a little bit by having a tripod, but we're at ISO 640, so that's fine, it's not proper high, f11 and 1/100th of a second. I'll tell you what, it is proper cool. I think it's going to be a lovely photograph. It's about 5 images from left to right, capturing all of this, looking back up towards Crinkle Crags. We've got a lovely bit of colour looking back down towards the south, a lot of nice oranges and peaches. And we've got Pike Oblisco, and we move across to these 2 tarns down here as well. And I think this is going to be a lovely, lovely pano, even without the light. Right, I've started making my way back down, but I'm going to grab one more shot here. I'll just get the old Z30 out of the hip pack. And this is something that I wanted to try, because if you watch me regularly, you'll know I'm pretty much always using my 24-200 lens, but I do a decent percentage of the time. I really love my wide-angle lens. I love taking wide-angle photographs. So I feel a little bit funny to be up in the mountains without it, but my idea was to try and do vertical panoramas instead of using a wide-angle lens. This scene here, I think, is going to be the perfect opportunity to try this out. And I'm just messing about here, really. I'm not too bothered how it comes out. But if I had my wide-angle lens here, I'd be angling it downwards towards the path, tiny bit of the sky in, where you can see we've got that beautiful colour there, past the Langdale Pikes. And we'd have this path leading into that scene, into that colourful scene. And I figured all I've got to do here is probably 2 or 3 shots. So I'll just get my settings dialed in first. Right, so I'm at 1/60th of a second, f11, and ISO is on 1600, but I'm not bothered. I'm just trying this out, seeing how it looks. And I think it's going to be, let's look, 1, 2, yeah, it's going to be 3 shots. First one is down, there we go. First one's right down in front of us on the path. 1, done. Same settings, same focus. The focus is just down on the path. I'm not changing that for any of the shots. Second one in the middle somewhere. Third one is of the Langdale pikes in the background. I'll do one more just for good measure. So we've got 4 there, and I'll just sift through them so you can see them a little bit. I don't know, you're gonna be able to see this. I don't know. But yeah, there you go, look. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Look at that. I think that's well cool. So I'll show you that image now. It might be rubbish, but I'm just trying to see, like I've said, if that could be a good alternative to having a wide angle lens. I might get away with not needing one at all when I'm being minimalist. So I would love to know from yous down in the comments below whether or not you have ever gone out and shot with a really minimal, a really small amount of photography gear. Perhaps you've gone out and done it on purpose like I have today to give it a go. Maybe it's something that you do all the time. You know, you might not even own a big parachute with a backpack like me. That would be so interesting. Please comment below and let me know your minimalist landscape photography experiences. And if you've got any advice for me, someone who's just a bit of a beginner with it all really, I feel like I've learnt a lot today. For starters, I think I've got too much in the pack. But yeah, if you've got any advice for me, whether it's specific bits of gear or, you know, the way you might do things when you're out and about physically with your gear, that would be ace. But comment below. I love to hear from you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I shall see you on the next adventure. Out.